I'm Joe Zikas. I'm from New Home Notebook. I'm sitting here with an old friend, David Hall, who's Vice President and Managing Broker of Coldwell Banker Residential Brokerage, Lincoln Park Plaza office.
Yes.
David built this office from a very small operation into a billion-dollar office. If it had been a freestanding company, it would easily rank among the 25 largest brokerage companies in the United States. Yes?
Yes, yes, yes.
Congratulations, David.
Thank you, thank you. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you. We came over to talk because David's been in this business for 30-some years now.
Ah, that's right, yeah.
And been through a number of market cycles.
Right.
And right now we're in one of those market cycles.
We're in one of those cycles.
We're
yes.
in one of those cycles.
Yeah.
What's the nature of this cycle? How severe is it? How prolonged is it likely to be? Compare it to some of the cycles you've been through in the past.
Well, I think in my time in real estate, there've been probably 4 cycles, and the 2 worst ones have been this one and the one early in my real estate career. So I'm sort of bookmarked, or bookends sort of. I think in many ways it feels much like the early '80s. The conditions are different and the circumstances are different, but the tone of it is very similar. And the tone of the economy is similar. Again, I know the conditions are different and the causes are different, but the tone of it feels very similar.
How would you describe that tone?
Well, we've gone through a very long period of unprecedented prosperity and unprecedented spending at the personal level, at the company level, at government level. Everybody spent. And now we
had a good time doing it.
We had a good time doing it, just like we spent in the 70s. The 70s in Chicago in real estate was the period we now call condomania, when dozens and dozens of buildings from the Gold Coast or from the river north along the lakefront were converted from rental to condominium, and created a buying craze. In which buildings sold out over a weekend, or they converted from rental to condominium over a weekend or over a week period.
And we had fun doing that.
And we had fun doing that. And then it all came to a crashing halt starting in October of 1979, when the interest rates started to climb, and they climbed a quarter a point a week.
The Saturday Night Massacre.
The Saturday Night Massacre, and I remember very well because I watched my interest rate clock ticking upwards on my loans. That's because I was in the construction business, and when they got into double digits, that was we'd never had double-digit interest rates, and then they obviously
and then they doubled,
and then they doubled that. They went all the way right to 20%. So the market, the real estate market, just completely backed off. But the issue there was financing and the cost of ownership based on the size of the mortgage and the monthly payments, and had less to do with the price of the house or the price of the condo than it did the cost of ownership based on the interest rates. So we had to be very creative, and we did owner financing, and we did assumptions, and we did blended rates, and that's when.
And hardly any of that worked.
And right, but case by case, deal by deal, we managed to do deals. Well, I think that in some ways this market is very much like that. It's a deal by deal market. There are nobody's selling a building out overnight or over the weekend it's a one deal at a time. Agents are working very much one deal at a time. Instead of having, they may have more listings in their inventory than they did 3 or 4 years ago, but very few agents have 15 buyers, that's active buyers that they're working with. They may have 1 buyer or 2 buyers or 3 buyers. They may have 8 or 10 listings, and they may get 1 or 2 showings a week on each of those listings. That's the way it was in the early 80s. And then it's about price, and it's about people are doing buy downs, even though interest rates are extremely low already, trying to get an edge on the competition. Builders are doing buy downs, or 1 year or 2 year or 3 year. So, the tone, that's what I mean by the tone.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's resistance. And the resistance comes from people are afraid for their job security. the unemployment rate is rising. But we sometimes forget that unemployment in the early 80s, you may know this better than I, capped out at somewhere around 13%.
It's a big number.
That's a very big number. That's almost double what it is today. It's unimaginable to us that we had 13% unemployment rate, that we had 18% interest rates. So, we will get through this, like we get through everything.